Good morning, beautiful people. How are you doing today? Stephen here, live with a transfer video. I've got my phone in front of me because I'm looking at the transfer news, talking about Manchester City Football Club and alleged interest in Tijjani Reijnders, the AC Milan midfielder. Very exciting link, this. Yeah, very exciting. I like this. I like this an awful lot. I think he's a quality footballer. I'm just getting the stats up on my phone right now to talk about him in a little bit more detail there. Of course, I am sponsored by OneFootball. This is the OneFootball app there right now. Go and download it. Do you want to help support Stephen on this channel? Of course you. Look at my face. Of course you want to help support a very tired dad who's not had a shower this morning, has been up since 6 o'clock, who tries to create content and look after you guys and be an online City friend, you know, to chat to. If you want to help support Stephen on this channel, download OneFootball, click the link in the description. Please, if you're watching live, let me know in the chat. Have you downloaded it? I can give you a bigger shout out ever. Click the link. It's free to download. Millions of people, tens of millions of people use OneFootball, and you get all your stats. And do you know what? I've been working for a long time, and the app's got even better. I'm looking at the stats now for Tijjani Reijnders, and it shows you why you should be very excited by this player, because he's got an awful lot of quality. 35 matches played this season so far. And the guy knows how to score goals. He's got 10 goals in midfield, so 1 goal every 3 games there. Yeah, the guy knows how to score. Right-footed goals as well, of course. A few goals outside the box as well, which is very exciting. 36 dribbles. He completes a dribble per game, basically. Good assists, 4 assists, total passes a lot. 90% pass accuracy. I'm reading all these stats on OneFootball. Yeah, a really exciting player. Download that app. Help support the channel. It's cracking. It's brilliant. You get all your City news. And it's going to be a very exciting summer. A very exciting summer for Manchester City breaking news. And where do you think I got this news from today? So, yeah. Go for it, Ben. Thank you very much. And Tony's always downloaded it. Massively appreciated. It does help support the channel. So this news anyway, this wonderful, exciting news comes from Mike McGrath, who's one of the journalists at The Telegraph, but he is one of the northern reporters, so to speak, and he does tend to have a little bit of information about Manchester City Football Club. And he reported, it came out about an hour ago. I was on another call, so I couldn't get live straight away. He said that City have made the AC Milan midfielder Tijjani Reijnders a serious summer target. The Serie A side value the Netherlands international higher than the 55 million Newcastle pay for Tonali. Yeah, they probably do. They probably want 70 million for him. I'm going to be honest with you. It'll be something really high. But what would we get for Reijnders? We get essentially a sort of Gundogan replacement. An exceptionally gifted guy who likes to operate in that sort of left-sided 8 spot. A creative footballer, technically brilliant. Very Bernardo Silva-esque replacement, actually. Very Gundogan, Bernardo Silva coded. A goal scorer. Very, 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 very... sorry, James in the chat said the only issue with Reijnders is it tends to be unavailable on Christmas Eve. Damn, I hate you, James, but I also respect you for that kind of terrible joke. That's right up my alleyway, that. Yeah. Brilliant. Strude says, Jesus Christ, James. Well, Jesus, yeah, well, I mean, that's relevant as well, you know, Christmas and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Gundo regen for sure, but big. Yeah, it'd be a massive signing, this. I really like him. Basically, my biggest issue, and I've been saying this for such a long time, is I want technical players, people who are so comfortable on the ball, people who make things happen. You know, the kind of guys who want to just put their foot on the ball, pass it around, keep it, you know, just have a little bit of fun. They're technically good. They're good in tight spaces, can do the million passes thing. I feel like our technical abilities dipped a little bit, given that, you know, Gundogan's got older, Bernardo Silva's dipped a bit, De Bruyne's getting older, David Silva moved on. I want people of that caliber, magicians on the ball, the ones who just look so silky. They have the aesthetics, but also they have the ability to match it, you know. That's what I want from City. And sorry, I'm just getting the camera settings right there. Wrong one. I want a bit brighter. That's what I want. And Reijnders absolutely, he fits that down to a T. So, yeah, I'd be very excited for this. I'll show you the actual report, by the way. So, there we go. Mike McGrath, football reporter, the Daily Telegraph says, yeah, exclusive, City want him. Valued by Milan higher than the record departure Kaka. Look, we're not going to spend higher than... What was the Kaka fee? Wasn't it like 80 million, 100 million or something like that? Look, there's no way... Oh, this says here, excessive club record 57 million. I don't know. I haven't got this. I don't know what Kaka was, but you look, I reckon it would be about 70. Yeah, Kaka was Kaka 55 million. Didn't the City offer like 100 million or something like that at one point? We did, didn't we, under Gary Cook and stuff? Yeah, well, they'll almost certainly get more than that. I can't believe they only sold him 55 million because we offered 100 million, didn't we, to AC Milan when he was at Real before he went to Madrid. But yeah, I mean, he would be a cracking signing. I think they'd want about 65, 70 million, and they'd probably get it from Man City. He'd be a really good potential signing, and he'd just fit City down to a T. When I think about where he plays, this, in my opinion, is his best position sort of here. And honestly would not be surprised if we saw City go to a sort of a quasi box midfield kind of thing where you've got, like, if we sign Gibbs-white, it'd be something like this where he'd play there, you'd have Foden there, something like this potentially where you'd have, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that kind of formation. Then you got your Marmoush and Haaland or something. I don't know, but Reijnders will play in that role. Be it, if we play like this, or I don't really know, but he would play here, and he'd be the kind of guy who can get the ball, sit a bit deep, and they could, if we signed him, I don't know, but it'd be something like that. And I would really like it. And you could have Gonzalez, you could play every now and then as well. Foden and Gonzalez could play here or whatever. I don't know how it'd be, but I like it. I like Gibbs-white, by the way. I think people are underestimating him a little bit. Do you know how we all admire Villa for people like McGinn and Rodgers and people like that, and Tielemans, and they were really impressive against PSG. In fact, they were so close to tying it. I think he's that level quality where aggressive, physical, can make things happen, can put in the cross for Wood when he scores headers, and it could be Haaland. So I like him. I think a Rodri, Reijnders, Morgan Gibbs-white, Nico Gonzalez, Foden options in midfield would be powerful. It'd be skillful. It'd be technically good. I'd really like it, man. I think it'd be a really impressive midfield. And Reijnders, for me, would be, it'd be great. And you got Nico Riley can get in there too. Yeah, I'd be more than happy with it. Also, it is worth pointing out that, I'll go over to Nabil, this fella. You don't know who Nabil is. He's you can't actually see him. He actually is he's the City Report owner, so another aggregator. And he pointed out that actually this journalist Sasha Tavalieri, he's really well connected. He actually mentioned this a month ago. He said that City were willing to pay 65 million, excluding bonuses, for Reijnders. Ideal Gundogan replacement, and at 26 years old. Yeah, he reported this back in April the 14th, so it was a month ago, and I think there's something in this, man. I think City are locked in with this. I don't know if we'll get him, but I think City are interested in these players. And as I tweeted this earlier, and I'll go back to my opinion. I said, we're seeing so many links to players at the moment. Wirtz, Gibbs-white, Sarah, Reijnders, Savona, Wesley. I think these are all genuine links, but I think City are sounding out agents. I think they are talking to representatives and clubs to see if there's potential interest. But as I said, I don't think City will pull the trigger on any until we know the state of next season, be it Champions League football or Europa League football, or who will move on. So I think we're going to have to wait around a little bit. But I think these links are genuine. I think all these links to these players, I think we're getting our sort of our houses in order, so to speak, and we're trying to work out what we can do. Check out Data MB for Gundogan Reijnders. Yeah, do you know what? I'll do that. I'll go to Data MB right now. Once again, download OneFootball. Let me go to Data MB. I'll do the comparison tool right now. We'll compare midfielders. Let me compare midfielders. Reijnders. We'll do Reijnders of this season and Gundogan this season. I mean, look at that, by the way. Look, they're the same player. And I know we'll go, but Reijnders, they're the same player. Like, but obviously one's got more legs. And I know the stats, look, Reijnders is slightly better at carrying, slightly get progressive passes. And I think defensively he would get better. But, I'll add Gundogan of the Barcelona. The Barcelona one. Gundogan's slightly better there statistically. For what it's worth, I suspect Reijnders will get better and whatever in certain things, and his stats will change. But that was Reijnders. My colour blindness does not help there at all. That's Reijnders last season there as well. You can see him on there as well for last season, when he was actually slightly more aggressive. Like Reijnders of the season prior was more aggressive defensively and all that kind of stuff. Compare Gundogan 2022. I can't do Gundogan 2022. He won't show me that, unfortunately. He won't show that, but I'll bring up Gundogan. I'll bring up Gibbs-white as well, by the way. That's what Gibbs-white of this season. So Gibbs-white there, much more of aggressive key passes kind of player. They all have slightly different things. Now, I do think we'll be signing some. By the way, do not just listen to these stats. They only tell you a small part of the picture. I don't know how it's pronounced. Is it Reijnders? Reijnders? I'm going to pronounce it Reijnders. He's a reindeer from now on for me. These only tell a small part of the picture. And there's so much more news going on today. Have you seen all this stuff about Wirtz as well? Apparently, City have established an agreement with Leverkusen after several weeks of advanced discussions. This is what Sasha said. Once again, it's all kicking off, basically. It's all kicking off, you know. I've lost that. Where's it gone? I'll come back to it in a second. I've lost it for you. But it is all kicking off, and it looks like City are... There's also the news about De Bruyne apparently saying you'd like to go to Napoli. I love De Bruyne there, by the way, because it's not in England, so happy about that. I'll go back to this again. So Leverkusen want to do everything to prevent Wirtz joining Bayern, even though they have available agreement and represents his family on a 5-year contract and made the highest salary offer. They're demanding 150 million euros from Bayern and 100 million from any foreign club. That's mad, by the way. That is like next level. The J is silent. Reijnders. Is it? Well, that's just Reijnders then, isn't it? Still, Reijnders. Is it Reijnders or is it Ray? I don't know, Reijnders or Reijnders? Is it Ree or Ray? But either way, with Wirtz, I love the fact that they're that spiteful, that like to Bayern, that they're willing to give up on like 30 million quid. That's Santa's Reijnders. There you go. I don't know. Rain. R-E-N to me is pronounced rain, but as in like the reign of someone, like the reign of a king. Reijnders. Reijnders. It's Reijnders. I don't care anymore. Tijjani is pronounced. I know. I'm gonna call him Rudolph. All right. We're all happy about it because he's a reindeer now. Rudolph. I'm Yadar now. But I think the news around Wirtz, I think there's something in that. I would not be surprised if so many clubs are finally like, fuck you, Bayern. Stop taking everything, man. You win everything. And I think there's something in that. I do think Wirtz would be interested in City overall, but I do think his parents are telling him to go to... I think they were telling him to go to stay in Germany and go to Bayern Munich, which is a shame because I think Wirtz would be more open to potentially moving. But I know what it's like. You're a young man. You want to keep your family close and you want to keep your family happy. So there's something on that. Offering $750,000 a week, Diaz. We'd be skint, mate, in 5 minutes. You can't do that. I know what you're getting at, but come on. Cunha link today? I've not seen any Cunha links personally. I don't know where you've seen that, my friend. You must have seen that in a Facebook group or something like that because everyone waffles over there. But I've seen no journalists linking them. But there's a lot going on basically. I do like the Reijnders link though, because the Rudolph link, because I think he's a really good player. And once again, he'd fit into this role really nicely here. And you've got options there potentially. If gibbs-white comes in, you've got. You can play as an 8 or as a 10, or you can go everywhere. You can move around the pitch. Reijnders can do the same thing. Rodri back would be obviously. There's just so much more quality and energy. I like where we're potentially going with all this. I think it offers a really interesting potential midfield that we could grow and develop together. Look, I want the City to have physicality. I want to have players who can create and score goals. I want players who can keep the ball. And when you get like the ability of Reijnders, or I like gibbs-white now. I've come round to it, and then Rodri in the team. It's exciting. It's exciting. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Darcy. I mean, we don't know if it's true, mate. I mean, we can only guess it's true, but I think there is something in this. I think broadly, my friend, thanks for the super chat. It's usually appreciated. I think broadly, he probably is being pressured to go to Bayern. I think he'd be fine to go to Bayern to play for the biggest side. I mean, the Madrid of Germany, aren't they? If you're a German lad playing for Bayern, is seen as a sort of, as far as it can go. They are the pinnacle of German football, aren't they? So I don't think he would say no to them. I think there was something in the fact that his parents are pushing for him to stay in Germany because, well, look, he's their boy as well. He's, 21, 22 years old. He's a baby still in the grand scheme of things. Look, I'm telling you now, if I had a son... I do have a son. If Ruben was a 21-year-old footballer and he played for like Villa and City wanted him, I'd be like, go, please. But Real Madrid wanted him, I'd be like, please go to City instead. You know, look. Well, obviously, I'd say that. That's not a fair comparison. I'm a City fan. Maybe his parents are Bayern fans. I don't know. But the point is, you want your lad to stay local, don't you? So there's an element of family kicking in there, and I think there is something in this. And look, it's not. The thing is, the downside is that it's very easy to say yes to your family when you get to live at home with your family still, and you get to see them. You don't leave the country, and you also get to play for Bayern Munich and earn loads of money. So that's the catch there, really, isn't it? That's the catch. We'll see how it goes. I think he's a quality footballer, Wirtz. I think he's great. I don't think our season next year will ride or die on him. I think he's a cracking player, but we will get by without him, potentially. I think someone like Reijnders would be a fantastic compromise. I think Reijnders and Morgan Gibbs-white coming in would absolutely... They would improve our midfield creatively, physically. The legs would be up there. The technical level would go up. I'd be really happy with that. I think they'd be really smart signings, hungry signings, ready to take the step. Yeah, I like it. I absolutely like it. I think they'd be really, 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 really good signings, and I'm very excited by that. I just like the ability he's got. I like the technical ability. It'd be a very exciting signing for me. Give the video a like, by the way. I'd be massively appreciated if you could get the number of likes up. Only 56 likes, 300 people watching. Let's double that if you can. Let's try and get to 115 likes as always. That's what we go for. Would you like Rodrigo or Balaba? Both, mate. Balaba would be a cracking signing. Rodrigo would be a cracking signing. I'm not saying we need both, but if either ended up Manchester City, I would not complain, put it that way. Someone say Nico Paz. Very, very gifted footballer, by the way. Get him on Mashtuani, the young River Plate. I probably butchered that, but he'd be good as well. Yeah, Musiala is already there, but they'd probably play a slightly different way, wouldn't they? You got Olise as well already, and Sane. Sane's moving on, apparently, so he'd be obviously a Sane replacement for them, wouldn't he? Rodrigo, by the way, look, I don't think we desperately need Rodrigo. But if he came in, look, he scored 17 goals last season for Madrid. He scored 19 goals the season before that and got 10 assists in those. So he's pushing 30 goals assists a season. And he's been obviously playing on the right as well, where he prefers to play on the left. I don't think we need Rodrigo, but he's a 24-year-old Brazilian Champions League multiple winner with loads of ability. He's a winner. He's aggressive. He's versatile. I think there's another level he can go up as well. Rodrigo, if he came in, I would not complain. I think he's a cracking footballer, and he's a goal scorer, much more than our current wingers are. So I understand the argument. We've got Doku Savinho, we've got Marmoush, we've got Oscar Bob, who can play out wide. Phil can. If we bring in, more players, who knows what can happen there. Echeverry's at the club still. I understand the argument there, but I'm not going to complain because he's quality. So it's one of those things where I don't lose any sleep. I presume they've got a plan for these things, and I do actually think Rodrigo would bring in a level of quality that we don't have in terms of out wide. I think he's much better than Savinho right now, Liam McAnally. For one, I think Savinho's a quality player, but he's a much more natural goal scorer. He scored 19 goals the season before last on the right wing. Savinho's not going to get anywhere near that right now, and I think we need goal scorers. I don't think we need him, but if another goal scorer came in, I'd be buzzing because I look at the City side, there's no killers. Marmoush and Haaland, and after that, Foden's lost his touch. There's no one else. De Bruyne doesn't score regularly anymore. Who else scores? Doku and Savinho don't score regularly. People can put the ball in the back of the net. It's not complicated. Football is most goals at an elite level are usually really good goals because chances are hard to come by. So you get people who are clinical and ruthless and do what Rodrigo did against us, and score. So I would agree that Omar, Marmoush and Rodrigo offer a little bit, similar things. I agree on that. But, it is what it is. That's there for City to sort out eventually. But on Reijnders, I would take him in a heartbeat. On Wirtz, I'm presuming it's still going to go to Bayern, but I think there is some news on that. I think the news that Leverkusen would take a cheaper bid to get him out of the country is probably true. I don't think they want him to go to Bayern Munich because fuck Bayern Munich, right? Guys, download OneFootball. Please help support the channel. It's in the pinned comment. It's in the description. It'd be massively appreciated. Let me know what your ideal midfield would look like if Reijnders came at Man City. Would he play alongside Rodri? Would Gibbs-white get in the team? I don't know. Love you all loads. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much, please, for watching. Bye-bye. Like and subscribe.